Good morning, everybody. Wakey, wakey. It's time for Morning Glory. My name is MC Kalia, and I'll be your captain for the next 1 hour, 30 minutes. Let's have this conversation going. Good morning, everybody. Wakey, wakey. It's time for Morning Glory. My name is MC Kalia, and I'll be your captain for the next 1 hour, 30 minutes. Let's have this conversation going. Good morning, everybody. Wakey, wakey. It's time for Morning Glory. My name is MC Kalia, and I'll be your captain for the next 1 hour, 30 minutes. Let's have this conversation going. Good morning, everybody. Wakey, wakey. It's time for Morning Glory. My name is MC Kalia, and I'll be your captain for the next 1 hour, 30 minutes. Let's have this conversation going. Good morning, everybody. Wakey, wakey. It's time for Morning Glory. My name is MC Kalia, and I'll be your captain for the next 1 hour, 30 minutes. Let's have this conversation going. Good morning, everybody. Wakey, wakey. It's time for Morning Glory. My name is MC Kalia, and I'll be your captain for the next 1 hour, 30 minutes. Let's have this conversation going. the 11th day of April 2023, one day after the Easter weekend. I know it's a Tuesday that looks like a Monday because people have been off since Friday. Nonetheless, good morning to you. This is the Morning Glory Show. It is the most comprehensive talk show in Kenya today. And so this week we kick off our broadcasting with the Expert Tuesday. Many people had expected of course, we usually start with the Monday briefing, but then jana ilikuwa holiday. We decided to take a holiday, and I hope you really enjoyed your holiday. And being a hopeful season, I would just also want to take this opportunity to wish you all the best as you continue to do whatever you do to have food on the table. Of course, tunasema sisi sote ni wapambanaji. Good morning to you. Let me know where you tuned in from. Of course, if you're already in the broadcast, like the broadcast, help me share the broadcast. I would want as many people to watch this particular broadcast because this is the show that brings you all the important conversations happening within the North Rift region. Actually, if you want to learn about politics, business, social life, the Morning Glory Show is the show to watch. Now, we're coming live from Dawi Afrique Photography. Dawi Afrique Photography is a photography studio, or rather a production house based in Eldoret, Zion Mall. Anytime you need anything that goes into video production or photo production, this is the place to visit. Are you looking for a place where you can take nice photos with your family? You're looking for a family-friendly space, then Dawi Afrique should be that space. Dawi Afrique should be the place to visit. Kama uko na harusi, we are talking about A-game. We are talking about nice experience in front of the camera and good memories at the end of the rope. Now, many would expect that I would mention Dsquare next, but then I'm not going to do it because that is exactly what we are here to do today. We are talking to the CEO of Dsquare Fashion House and also Dsquare School of Fashion Design and Tailoring. Every morning I've been insisting to you that that is where you need to visit. Whether you need to dress to be addressed or you need to learn to dress people, Dsquare should be the place to visit. And I tell you that the fashion house is just adjacent to the fashion is just adjacent to the school. So that means if you are learning in the school, there's a chance of you walking into the fashion house and actually learning from the best. There's a chance of you even meeting the CEO, like other schools where unasianga tu tunakuanga na director kwa shule, but then you've never seen them. And so today on set with us is Dan Rutto. He's the CEO of both Dsquare Wear and also Dsquare Fashion, School of Fashion Design and Tailoring. Welcome, Dan. This is the man that dresses all the important people in this town. Good morning to you, bro.
Good morning, Kalia.
Say hi to our viewers.
Good morning, viewers, and also thank you to MC Kalia for having me this morning for the Morning Glory Show. And today we're having a different discussion. I think the last time when I was here, it was about politics. And I'm so grateful to be here this morning. And the most important thing is just to appreciate you guys for the good work that you're doing. Very informative and very educative. So far, I've seen your growth, and to this extent, I can say big ups, guys. You're doing an amazing job. And as a young person, I'm really proud of you guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And today, I would say the guest looks better than the host, but then you'd understand that he comes from a fashion house. What do you expect? Nonetheless, we'll keep on pulling up our socks. And by the way, at the same time, as much as it looks better than me, this is actually a product of Dsquare. I'm not talking about something they bought, then they sold it to me. No, this is something they tailor-made. Everything I'm wearing today, maybe except the inner ones, it was actually custom-made by Dsquare. Of course, also the watches, but then the watch was actually bought. But then I'm talking about the fabric, be it the shirt, be it the trouser, then walk into Dsquare Fashion House and you'll get the best. And now, Dan, of course, I believe there's a lot for everyone to learn today. You are an entrepreneur. Of course, allow me to use the word young entrepreneur in this particular town. I was looking at some of the photos as pale nyuma. Of course, we'd be doing that next. But then tell me about your journey. How was it when you're starting? Which year did you start Dsquare? And what was really happening at that time?
I think Dsquare, we are turning 6 years this year since inception. We started Dsquare in 2017, September 22nd, and it has not been a smooth journey. Definitely, any startup always has a lot of challenges, and the same challenges that people go through is what I went through. And I can say that the growth has been gradual to where we are, and we appreciate always learning, because learning is a continuous process. And doing what I do, it's not that I went to school to study the same, and coming to learn, because every day is a learning curve. We get to learn more. We get to learn from failures. We get to learn from mistake, and we improve on the same. And I can say, Kalia, in 2017, when I started, it was something that a lot of people could not believe, even close friends, because I used to work, then I choose to step out of employment. But a lot of people could not believe that you are just living a very lucrative job just to come and sell clothes.
And of course, you've mentioned that it is not something you went to school to study.
Yeah,
of course, I wouldn't want to go much into your background and all that, but then what were you doing before you stepped into the fashion industry, and what was the motivation? Why fashion?
Yeah, professionally, I'm a graduate of finance and banking, and I'm also a professional accountant. So before I came into this industry, I was practicing accountancy, and since then, because what I had in me mostly, I can tell you, Kali, and it's something that I think I've mentioned before. Me, I used to love donning suits, so that the moment I do a good suit or probably an average suit, I could take pictures and post. So I find that most friends could come to my DM and like, Dan, where do you get your suits? Where do you get your outfits? But you find that I could just go to, when I was in school, by there I bought my first jeans. I think I was in campus. So I find that I used to love doing officials. So I could get to, West, definitely, for the common reason. So I could go to West. Sometimes you get a very nice shirt. So, and those shirts, definitely, since I can say that I was 1 GB at that time, so you could hardly get something that was fitting and something that was good in you. So I had a friend who used to tailor, so I could take the shirts there, I design, I fit it well, I go high on very well, and then do the shirt. So you find that most people could come to my DM like, where do you get your outfits, where do you get your suits? So I had a friend who used to sell suits at that point back in around 2015, 2014. So this guy I could pay these suits in installments. So you find that I could buy a suit worth around 2,500 or close to 2,000. So I used to, whenever I get 200 shilling, I give him. Whenever I get 500, I give him until I finish. That is when I take the suit. So I find that I used to take that suit, I go to the studio, I take a very nice photo, I post on Facebook, social media. So people could come in like, where do you get, who dresses you? You get it? So by the time somebody asks you that who dresses you, then it means you're making a statement. So at that point, that is when now you refer this guy to the person who used to sell you suits.
Then
so
you saw an opportunity.
Definitely. And then again, you find that we had an arrangement that whenever I refer you a client, then definitely I get my cut. So you find that at the end of the day, that's what I used to do mostly. I referred a lot of people to this guy. So when I was growing, I could see that this guy was making money. Then the question, and always, that is what I always ask myself. The question that I always asked, what if I do away with this guy and be the sole supplier, that it means I'd make more profits than what I was getting as commission. So that is what inspired me mostly to venture into this business. And as I was doing that, because any shilling that you earn out of your own creativity becomes a motivation for you to do something. So by me getting the 50 shillings, the 100 shillings, the 200 as commission, that is what motivated me basically to go an extra mile and choose to venture into this business. And as I had mentioned earlier, it has never been a walk in the park. They've been myriad of challenges. They've been a lot of setbacks. But I think I appreciate the process. I appreciate the growth. And I'm not yet there. It's something that I'm still working on the journey. And I believe in due time we'll be somewhere. Yeah.
Of course, the guests from time to time throwing punches at me. But then we have a lot to unpack, by the way. And of course, clearly, as he puts it, business is survival for the fittest. And it's never easy. That is exactly what we're going to talk about this particular morning. Let's see what people are saying. Let's get the feedback. There's somebody called Ambassador Alfred Sargent says, following from Itigo. Path say, Jambo to Dan, great guy, changing lives. It's true. Apart from just also selling clothes to people. You know, when you sell clothes to people, or when you clothe people, somehow you change their lives. Then there's that mentorship, having employees and all that. We'll talk about that in a few. There's a Kathy comment says, good morning. Good morning to you, Kathy. Hi, how are you? Savannah Boy says, good morning. Harry Beth says, done. Okay, thank you so much for the massive feedback. Of course, I'll be able to sample the whole of it as we continue with this particular broadcast. Ask those questions. Let's make this as interesting as possible. And Dan, there's something that you've mentioned, and that's exactly where I want to go to before we come back to the fashion thing. You recently got into politics, and there were a lot of opinions, of course, about why would someone, of course, you've said you ever left a job to get into fashion. Are we about to see you again leave fashion into politics, or what exactly was informing your choice to get into politics?
Kalia, I think about politics, I think it's only in our country that we've made politics to be politics. I think it's a high time that we need to change the perspective of politics from seeing politics as politicking, but politics as an avenue of leadership. So as I talk about politics also, I think I didn't go into politics to be a politician. I went into politics aspiring to be a leader. And myself, I'm always a believer of challenges. I'm always a believer of setbacks. Why am I saying this? Because somebody say that whenever you stop growing, then it means you are starting to die. So when I got into politics, I took that as a challenge, because in most occasions, we tend to look for comfortability. And whenever somebody is just comfortable, you are paying your bills, you are okay with your challenges, you are in a position to sort out your issues, then you tend to have that mentality that you've attained your actualization. But as a young person, as I had said that I'm a believer of challenges and looking for opportunities, because I believe that in every challenge, it is always a gift that is wrapped as an opportunity. So when I chose to get into politics, I was trying to get out of my comfort zone of waking up every morning and trying to and addressing people, and also trying to do what I always am used to do. So I was getting into politics to offer an alternative leadership, because I believed that, and I still believe that I am a leader. Why am I saying this? Because leadership, it's not something that I started the other day. I always have a heart to serve my people. I always have a heart to give back to the society that made me who I am. And I think I'd mentioned before that when I was in campus, I formed a movement that was known as Youth for Christ and Education. And as the founder and as the chair of that movement, we did a lot of things. And in those days, we could give back to society in a lot of avenues, starting from visiting the elderly, visiting the needy, and also conserving the environment. And we traversed the greater Elgeyo-Marakwet County in giving back to the society. And sometimes achievement is never an achievement if somebody is not feeling your achievement. So as I was getting into politics, I was giving an alternative leadership. And as I had said that we didn't get there, but I believe my win or my victory was just postponed to a later date. And
so we are yet to see you again get into the same position, seeking the same position, or rather seeking, I would say, a space in the political world.
Yeah, I think we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So for now, it's an old. We'll have that discussion on a later date.
You're already behaving like one of those shrewd politicians who would not answer nothing unless they're sure of it. Anyway, with us this morning is Dan. This is the Morning Glory Show. It is the most comprehensive talk show in Kenya today. Call in your friends, tag them, share the broadcast to them. Let them watch these conversations. In here, we bring insightful guests, nothing but important conversations. And Dan, of course, you've mentioned about how you started and where you started. And I just asked my producer to actually put up something about how you started. I have a few images of those suits of yours from what can I say? Those back in the days. And so tell us about the first photo there. I think that should be Dsquare starting.
Okay, that is, I think that was one of the first, what we call fast talk. And we started Dsquare as a very small shop. And I think that was the best and one of the only suits that we had, because Kalia, I started with barely, it was barely even 30 pair of suits, and we didn't have shoes. We only had some number of shirts, and I'm not sure ties we had. It was only ties, a number of shirts and suits. So you could see from that picture, inside the shop was barely full.
Yeah. And I can see you ulikuwa umepiga mbao uko ndani kweli kweli.
Yeah, so what used to happen, in fact the design of the layout of that shop was like an hanging line. You find so that whenever, because the number of suits that we hear and the shop was they were clashing, so you find that we used to spread the number of suits so that when somebody comes in thinks that you have suits, but when somebody asks about different brands, we could not offer because we didn't have that capacity. So I think that photo is
okay. Take me to the next photo, of course. Tell me about that one.
Okay. I think that is quite some times back, and unaweza ona pia hapo pia tulikuwa tunajaribu kupiga look haiko mbaya, so I think that is one also of the young photos of me.
Okay, let's continue. Tell us about that. Well, those are among your first clients. I think I don't know.
Kelly, I want to tell you something about the same. That photo, we had a group of young men who were friends, and I can say we were known as the Kings. So these were the people who by the way, we used to go to the shop, and sometimes I could give them suits. We take a photo and then they get them back, because assuming those guys kama wangeamua kwenda na hizo suits,
shopping ingekuwa empty.
Shopping ingekuwa empty. So I want to appreciate these guys so much.
Of course, I can see
one of the
there.
first clans. Yes, that is me, and then these guys, it was Gibson.
I know Gibson.
Yeah. And then we have Joffrey.
Okay, he looks different now, but I also know him.
Yeah. And then Walter. Those are also some good friends of mine that they saw me start, and a number who are not in the picture. I wish you could have the picture of them currently.
Okay. Of course, I'll be bringing
two versions of them.
I'll be bringing them to the show. Of course, you are the only evidence we have here.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
and the next photo now, I think this is the first koito that I ever dressed. And by there, I think I was among the first designers to do the maroon blazers in the Kalenjin land. So this was the what we call koito for Joffrey. And I think it's high time for me also to thank him for opening the.
And you actually need to dress him now. You need to call him and actually dress him pro bono.
I'm currently also dressing him.
Oh, you still dress him? Okay.
He works with Mo University and he's a great supporter.
Okay, let's go to the next photo there. Tell us about that. That is Kerol. You know Kerol belongs to the media. I've not actually seek his consent to have that, but then I just found it interesting. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I think also Kerol can admit that this was one of the first blazers to be done for. But it looks good as at then. That's all I can say. Yeah, but I want to also to appreciate him. It was one of the first.
Do you still have something there? Okay, thank you so much for that. And I was just trying to show my viewers where you've come from, because at times when you want to get inspiration from people, when you just give it in words and narrations, people think maybe we are putting it in, maybe we're trying to do, I don't know, face lifting or something. But then there is a confirmation that you can come from nothing to something. I mentioned early that it is survival for the fittest. How have you survived all this?
I think earlier, I think I remember when we first opened the shop, that was in September 22nd, 2017. I think I sold my first suit the same day that I opened. And that became a motivator because I had not even advertised. By then, I had not even mentioned to my parents that I'm starting a shop. Why? Because now, I think up to date also, my dad could always ask me like, why do you have to leave a job and try to come into something that you're not sure about? And up to date, I think they always challenge me that you need to look for a job. So I think it has been a journey that we've always tried to improve. And I always challenge people, and especially the young generation, that as you go up the stairs, you don't need to see the entire staircase. You just have to take the first step. Because sometimes you find that somebody could tell you that I don't have capital, I don't have enough funds to start a business. But for me, if I had looked from that perspective that I need millions to start that business, I need to have good money to start the business, then I could not have started. And then again, you find that a lot of young people will always start a business and then tomorrow they expect to make profits. Tomorrow they expect to grow. Tomorrow they expect to expand. But it is not the case because starting a business, anybody can start a business. But making or keeping the business afloat is a totally different thing. And I always challenge people that you don't just have to go into a business blindly because you are so excited about owning a business. You are so excited about being called a business owner,
A CEO.
a CEO, something like that. But you need to see past that because there are a lot of challenges that comes with it. And sometimes you find that I might be having 500,000 and I say that I'm good to have the rent, I'm good to have the stock, I'm good to pay for the licenses. But there are a lot of hidden costs that most people don't anticipate. And you find that sometimes you start a business and then for the first 3 months you sell zero, you sell nothing. So I always challenge young people that before you get into a business, because you need to anticipate, you need to come up with a business plan and ask yourself, what if I don't sell anything for the next 6 months? Am I going to pay my bills? Am I going to sustain my business? Am I going to keep my business afloat? So there are a lot of things and a lot of questions that a young person need to ask before you say that you own a business. And I always challenge myself that for the first time when you're starting a business, you need to ask yourself, what am I going to sell? And the second question is, who am I going to sell to? And then another question is, where am I going to set the business? And sometimes you find that a lot of people could always ask, when I started in where I'm located currently, because at that time it was a new building and a lot of business were not in place in the floor that I was. And a friend posed a question, akaniuliza ya kwamba, umeleta mpaka 4th floor. Because we are located in 4th floor. Umeleta biashara ya kuuza nguo 4th floor. Nani atapanda stairs all the way to 4th floor to come and buy suits? So you find that there are a lot of things, but for me, my target clientele is, because I whenever you are selling something good, even if you are located wherever you are, somebody will always find a reason to look for you. So there is always a lot to hit that you don't have to rush and say that by next month I need to own a business. In 2 months I need to be called a business owner. There is a lot that you need to plan. You need to look into it. Sit down, develop a budget that utajiambia, this is what I'm going to set for the stock. But will I be in a position to pay my rent for the next 6 months? Will I be in a position to meet, if you have somebody who is going to help you to sell, am I in a position to pay my staff for the next 6 months? If you are not in a position to answer those questions, then you are not good to go for the business. Better just do something else. But business is not an accident. Business is a plan. Business is something that you need to foresee a lot of incidents caused. And I think I had mentioned a short story that I once said. When I was in campus, I was so ambitious to start a business. And at some point, I had a friend who had a small office at Transnational here in Eldoret. And there was a boom in that business of selling trench coats. So, and somebody told me that you can get a bale of trench coats from Nairobi and come and sell, you make more than 100% profit. So I was so excited about that business. I went ahead, I talked to 1 to 3 friends and also family members. I got some small amount, around 20,000, barely 20,000 in fact, because Abel could, I think at that time was around 12 or 13, I don't remember very well. So I went ahead, and now the next question was, where am I going to set this business? And somebody told me that there was a vacant shop in UOE before it was called Chepkoilel. So I went there, I got a space, I paid for the space, and I ordered for the bell of trench coats. Nikaleta nikaeka hapo transnational kwa huyu friend wangu, this guy. And when I did that, nilikuwa nimelipa rent for the first month. I have ordered the stock, we have the stock. Now the question was, I didn't foresee that I need to even have a layout of that particular shop. So by the time I was realizing this was only close to the mid-month. So getting another amount of money to have the shop, get the shelves and what have you.
And you're getting the second one now.
I'm now getting the second, because I
don't need to pay rent again.
Yeah, and you remember that I had not, I'm a young person who is ambitious, in the occasion I have a business. By the time I'm realizing this, we are going to the second month. I have not paid for the license. I have not paid for the rent that is for the second month. By the time I realized that, I had closed the shop even before opening it. So it's something that we need to calculate things. We need to calculate, and also so that, because you find that there are people who will always open a business, then tomorrow they close because there are some costs that they did not anticipated. So it's something that somebody needs to sit down, because definitely at the end of the day, business is a serious thing. That whenever you get into it, you need to foresee those costs. So take your time, plan, and then by the time you're venturing, and also as a matter of fact, management is always the key thing. If you're not keen about how you manage it, because you are dealing with
of course, I'll actually be coming to management in a bigger way. Let's get some feedback here, and this is exactly what a friend of mine who nowadays I don't know where he's going to, is called Changulet. This is what he calls inspirational. Every time you tell him something, it's nice, you'd just be like, inspirational, and that's exactly what you're talking about. Derek B. Kimutai says, following from Nairobi mjini, great guy there, a true polymath. Thank you so much. Johnson Mwangi says, this is amazing and so inspiring all the way. Thank you so much. Josh Kipkoe says, good morning, a nice piece of inspiration. Big up Dan. MC Edumbuza. Edumbuza. Okay. MC Edumbuza. I love the name. Saying he's live from Cabernet. Rutto Weldon says, keep up the good work, sir. Thank you so much. Yvonne Noble Chepchumpa, thank you so much for always being with us. Says, good morning, greet the young gentleman. Of course, some people relatively young. He's older than me. Ruth Cherov, following, proud of you, Dan. Thank you so much for that. Of course, so much feedback. Arapuria say, good job, mates from Uganda. Oh, Uria is in Uganda. This guy has gone international. He's one of those people actually who also got inspiration from Dandan. I know he'll have a day to talk about that. Yeah. Roberto Kipleting Tiraito says, good work. Thank you so much. Collins Bet Kipkemai says, watching from Eldoret, Ketia's fourth floor. That's where exactly Dsquare is situated. Ruth Cherop says, proud of you, Dan. Of course, we have so much feedback. Maybe to just sample a few more comments here. There is somebody called Kip Kosgei says, Dsquare sweets are on top. If you have been trying, if you haven't tried them, you need to do them as soon as possible. Chiri Martin says, good job, our very own Dan. Super proud. Keep up. Keep your head high and soldier, as many folks are looking up to you. So true. MC Edurguno says, absolutely amazing. Wow. Keror and the team good, and the team Godos men, our own. It's so encouraging. Actually, it's encouraging that your own friends really supported you when you're starting. Of course, I can see Kiptokade says, good morning, great motivation. Koskia Rapche says, I can testify that the suits are legit. Maxwell Kibiwat says, specific place in Eldoret, please. Okay, they are situated at the 4th floor of Ketia's building. It is actually a building in the CBD, quite famous. Once you're in Eldoret, just tell them I would want to go to Ketia's. Queen She says she's tuned in from Nandi Hills. Thank you so much for making time to be with us. Of course, there's a lot of feedback. I may not get time to read the whole of it, but then later find time to go through the comment section. So many encouraging messages from friends who just wish you all the best. And Dan, before we come back to managing all this, Eldoret is becoming a city. You say that you're one of those people who really pioneered wearing maroon blazers and and the pink ones. I think there's usually a meme that goes around now at Wanaga Fest. And before we go there, there's a notion that before even we become a city, there's a notion that maybe Eldoret is not a very good town. Or rather, maybe Eldoret, they had a headline that put me in trouble. I asked if Eldoret is a con town or it's just a coincidence. Where do you place Eldoret as a town in terms of making money and succeeding in business? And what is the secret?
Okay, I say that, number one, Eldoret has the capacity. That is what I can mention. And it has the potential of growth. And we need to be prepared also, because as the town grows, the positivity also comes with it, as well as the negativity. There are a lot of vices that will come in. When talk about, you've mentioned something about corn. Any town, we have those elements. You find that. And also, as we anticipate for the town to be elevated to be the city status, then we need to be ready in terms of what comes with it. We expect a lot of positive things that comes with the city, and at the same time, we need also to anticipate a lot of issues that will come with it. But it's a town that if you rightly place yourself in the right place, then I'm confident that in due time you're going to benefit. And Eldoret, I can say that it is a town that has a lot of potential. It is a town that has a lot of capacity that you can do a lot of things. And it's something that I always challenge myself that in the next 10 years, I need to challenge myself also to get a stake of Eldoret. When we talk about a stake of Eldoret, it means that you need to be a beneficiary of the good tidings that comes with it. And for the next 10 years, we are going to see tremendous growth. If definitely looking forward to good governance, looking forward to good leadership, looking forward to we've seen a lot of plans, including the elevation to be a city. So it means that any young person, you need to place yourself in the right place. And talk about in the right place, it means that all the way from employment, that is in terms of the corporate sector. When it comes to business, you need also to place yourself. And even if it's about, for example, for business, even if it's about selling njugu. And Kali, I always challenge people that even if you are selling groundnuts, that is njugu, just do it to the level best that people will know that Kali is selling njugu. Do it to the point whereby, hata Trukola inasema nini? Inasema Kali wa njugu. You get the point? Like, get consistent. Be known for doing something.
There's somebody in the room, watu wanamuita Mama Chai. I'll tell you about that some other time.
Okay.
And he's actually a man.
So you find that at the end of the day, because I'm always motivated, whenever I'm in the office, there is always a young person who always comes hawking what we call kahawa moto. And this guy is always at exactly 4, you find that this guy is there. So, and you find that at 12, you'll find that he's somewhere else. At 2 is somewhere else. So find that this guy is consistent about doing this. So it's something that we challenge, especially the young people, because I always tend to challenge my generation, that just find something to do and do it and specialize in it. And somebody say that specialize in something until you become what? You become special. So it's something that just place yourself in the right place, and in due time, even if you are not going to see the results in 1 year, even if you are not going to see the results in 2 years, ultimately you will see that result. So just find something. Eldoret is growing, and just find the right place to position yourself. If it is in real estate, if it is in whatever industry, just find where to place yourself and do it consistently. But the challenge that we always have that, Kalia, you have you're running this show. We have Dawi doing what he's doing best. So you find that Kalia, as you are doing this, somebody, because all of us, wherever in any position that you are in, there is somebody that admires to be where you are. And never look down on yourself in whatever you are doing. Because wherever you are, any position that you are, there is somebody who admires to be where you are. So find that, for example, me, I come here, I am selling suits, I'm selling outfits. I come here and I see Dawi is doing great job. I admire the business. I see MC Kalia doing the best in this show. I admire the show. So you find that tomorrow I leave what I'm doing, and you find that tomorrow you find a poster, or I send you a poster that nowadays I'm doing what? I'm doing photography.
I'm the host.
Or I'm starting a show like yours, and I'm starting doing photography because I admire what Dawi is doing. But the question is, am I meant to do that? So find that today I close shop in what I'm doing, and probably that is where my potential is. Probably that is where my success is. But tomorrow you find that I'm closing what I'm doing and running into somebody's business, not knowing what my potential is, what am I meant to do. So find that you'll find that a person in 1 year or 6 months, he has shifted from one business to another until at the end of the day, he becomes the master of everything, but nothing.
Rather, you would say he's in everything, but a master of nothing.
A master of nothing.
There's a cliche that goes
yeah. So find that you do everything, and then at the end of the day, nobody knows what you do. So find that it is a challenge that we need to pose to ourselves, that whatever you're doing, just specialize in something until you become what? Until you become special. Yeah.
Okay, from time to time, of course, I get speechless because this is actually very inspirational. We are coming live from one of the best studios in town. Now that we are talking about excellence, this is the place you need to be. And you can see Dandan's face glowing, meaning that he's in a good environment. This is the exact environment that you need to come to take those nice photos. I know there's somebody's husband watching or somebody's wife watching, and they've never taken a couple photo. Just giving them a chance that they can walk actually into Dawi Afrique today and take those nice portraits. We have a very nice discount at the moment, 20% off on all our mounts. So you can walk into this place and take those nice photos. You can also walk into Dsquare and dress to be addressed. Or rather, walk into Dsquare School of Fashion Design and Tailoring and learn with the best. Now, and then of course, we shall be coming to almost the tail part of this particular show. And we've talked about the good side of business. You've talked about what the things we need to do. Let's look at the things people don't do. Let's talk about management. Let's talk about when the licenses are too much to bear. How do you remain afloat?
Kelly, I think we can say that so far, as far as I'm concerned, I can say that we don't have a marking scheme for any business, but because we have diverse challenges for different businesses, and the challenges that I'm going through are not the same challenges that you're going through in your industry. So what's very important is as you work on a business, be cautious and look into the challenges that you go through as a person and as a business. And in most cases, I can divide into 3. Number 1, we always have the starting up of the business, which they come with challenges that pertains to startups. We always have management as the business grow, and maintenance to maintain the business, and as you say, to keep the business afloat. And most challenges, as I had mentioned before, I talked about whenever you're starting a business, there are some element of cost that you need to see in advance. And by solving that, you need to come up with a proposal. You need to come up with a serious write-up that these are the things that I want you to get involved in. These are the 1 to 3 that I want to work on. So as you go about, you are in a position to have a pathway that you're trying to follow. And then in most cases, in terms of management, we need to professionalize business. Whatever kind of business that you're doing, you need to professionalize. And what am I saying professionalization? Because even if you are a shoe vendor, even if you are a coffee vendor, whatever, even if you're selling maize, at the end of the day, because you need to sit down and calculate and know that, am I doing the right thing? Am I making business? And then in the course of the business, you need to always make random previews in terms of clientele, that is in terms of customer satisfaction, in terms of even growth in business. Because the moment you choose to grow, you need to be informed. Am I making the right steps? Am I having the right human resource? Because at the end of the day, you might be having human resource, but they are not serving to the best interest of the company. So those are the things that you need to, and also other than yourself, assuming you are a sole proprietor, other than having that, you need to also have a board, probably, if not a board, a very professional kind of people that will always give you what we call a bipartisan advice when it comes to business. When talk about legal, when talk about financial, when talk about even human resource, you need to have people who are going to give you the right advice. Because at the end of the day, we don't have the knowledge of everything. So you need people who are going to make you see different things from different angles. When talk about financials, you need to have, from the word go, we are not accountants, all of us. We are from different fields. Some even might not have studied whatever they want to do. But you need people who are going to give you what you call professional advice. If it is about an accountant, you need to have an accountant who is going to always keep you on toes to ensure that you make even the right decision when it comes to growth. You make the right decision when you're even about taxation, so that as you grow, you make the right taxes, you pay the right taxes. And then, because sometimes you find that somebody will say that I'm a small vendor, I don't need to pay taxes. But I encourage that from the day that you start your business, make sure that you remit your taxes, make sure that you meet all the costs that are relevant. Because if you don't meet it when you are starting, then in the later date when the business has grown, you cannot be in a position to maintain. So it's about structures. Make sure that you have the right structures all the way. Ensure that you have the right people who are going to support your call. Because at the end of the day, you might be having the vision, but the people who are handling your vision are going to mess you. So it's something that you need to put into practice, and at the end of the day, make sure that you professionalize the business. Because sometimes, Kalia, you find that a lot of people might start a business, good business, the business blooms, and then all of a sudden, they anticipate or agitate for growth. So find that today somebody is starting this business, tomorrow in 2 months, he wants to open another business. In the next 3 months, he wants to open another branch in a different place. But at the end of the day, what is very critical, it's about management. So because a lot of people always challenges me that you need to get another branch somewhere, you need to get another branch somewhere else. But by the time you make that decision that you want to open another branch, you need to be well informed. And you cannot inform yourself. You need these professionals who are going to be like an advisory to yourself, so that you make the right decision. Because whenever you make a decision blindly in business, you lose it. The moment you make decision basing on your emotions that you think you have money, then you make because of that perception that you have money, then you are going to lose it. So sometimes you find that you need to have professionals who are going to advise you. And lastly, you need to differentiate the business from yourself. In law, in company law, you talk about a business as a different entity. Sometimes you find that somebody can come to you and say, Kali, nisaidia 1,000. When you tell him that I don't have the sina, mtu anakuambia a whole host. You get it?
Hauna tao ba.
Hauna 1,000.
Nini inakusumbua?
Mtu anakuambia Dani, nitumie punch hapo. Send me 500. Whenever you tell somebody, I don't have that, anakwambia I hold Dsquare, hauna 500. But people forget to differentiate the entity, which is a business, and yourself. And sometimes as individuals, we make decisions thinking that we have a lot, but we don't. So find that at the end of the day, you see from the cash flows, you see from the what you have probably as a business, and then you make irrational decision thinking that you have 1, 2, 3. But at the end of the day, you arm the business because of the perception that you think you have, but you don't have, the business has. So it's something that is very important for people to differentiate the business. By the way, Kalia, because, for example, me, it's just on a lighter note. Me, I drive a very small car. Sometimes you find that mtu anakuja anakuambia, "Oh, Dsquare, unaendesha gari ndogo hivi." But people forget that.
Unaendesha 110.
Unaendesha Vitz namna gani. But I think it's, as young people, whenever you get into business, learn to draw the line. Know that the finances and monies for the business is not your money. The moment you draw that line, then you are heading to the right direction. It's very, very important. And then I want to, let me pause as the last one. As you differentiate the business from yourself, always have the financial discipline. Because at the end of the day, me, I had a challenge. I can pose this also to motivate somebody. Sometimes back, I could access the finances of the business from my phone, just a tap. So I find that at the end of the day, whenever you go somewhere, you have to sort something, you find that you go to the account, you transact. Sometimes you transact the 500, the 200. But at the end of the month, whenever you do the math, you do the sum of all the 500s, the 200s that you've used in non-related business issues. You find that you spend a good amount of money to things that are not related to the business. So I made that decision, and I say that whenever I want to transact anything to do with the business, then I need not to access with my phone. I need to go to the bank over the counter, because these direct transactions by the phone are always the critical letdown to the business. Because unalala usiku, somebody calls you that, I have an issue here, but you find that since you can see the business that you've made sales today, you find that use in other non-related issues. So it's something very important to have the financial discipline. Because at the end of the day, you might say that I'm just buying airtime here, so, and the airtime that you're buying is for benefits that are not for the business. You find that unatumia leo so, kesho 50, the next day, mtu anakupigia kutoka mtaani, anakuambia nimezama, nitumie 500 because you want to help. You send the 500. At the end of the month, the 20, the 30, the 50, the 100 sums up to a greater amount of money. And the moment you start eating into your working capital, then you are starting to die as a business. So it's very important to draw the line between the business and yourself. And the moment you want to make any decision as regard to finances, get a professional to advise you. Even if you have only 10,000 in the account. Don't say that this is just, I do 1 + 1. Sit down, budget, sit down, plan, get a financial expert to advise you. It's something that we neglect in many cases. Tunasema pesa yetu ni kidogo, you don't need that. But the moment you get right from the word go, you'll never go wrong. Yeah.
Tell us about the school. Tell us about the expansion. Of course, I saw there's a new branch in the city. Of course, when I was doing the caption, I said this is one of the most industrious entrepreneurs in this region. But then you're now breaking the ceiling. You're now getting into other regions. You're now starting a school. Tell us about that.
Just to point out probably the trajectory that I've been taking over time. It's because when I started, I used to sell ready-made suits. And as I had said earlier, is that I'm one person who always, whenever I see a challenge, I believe there is an opportunity in that challenge. So when we started, we used to make to sell ready-made suits, and we could get clientele who could come and ask that I need a red suit, I need a yellow suit, and sometimes to get from your supplier becomes a challenge. That's when now we introduced the tailoring department, and by having the tailoring department, we experience seasons in terms of probably, for example, you find that in April you have a season, and that season sometimes it's even difficult for you to meet the demand, and that becomes a challenge. Sometimes in August it's hard for you to meet the demand. So when we started tailoring, we were looking forward to customize and having suits that are made at Dsquare. And when we did that, demand grew, and sometimes we fail to satisfy the demand, and every other time we could add more tailors, we could add more designers, but at the end of the day, you find that you keep on adding, but for example, you add for December, you have a lot of tailors, which becomes a challenge. In January, why am I saying this? Because January you're expecting a low season, so you find that for January you
now don't need them tailors no more.
Yeah, and for myself, I believe in maintaining your tailors. For example, you grow with them. They know what you want. They know your standards. Because we don't employ for seasons. We keep our tailors. Because currently we have like an average of 12 tailors, but you find that at the end of the day we still look forward to meet the demand, because we are looking forward to a time whereby you can order your suit today and you collect tomorrow. And that is what challenged me to start the school. And when we started the school last year, it's something that we are looking forward, because the demand for tailors is high, but now the supply is limited. So by having that is what motivated me now to start the school. And when we started the school, the sole question that we wanted to answer is, whatever, a lot of people ask me that I want to be like you. I want to do what you are doing. But sometimes we do things more casually until we forget that it is a profession. So that is when we started the school. And for the 1 year that we've been in the school industry, I can say that the growth is tremendous. We are having, for example, now we are having an intake in May for the school, and we are having a lot of students who are coming in. So it's something that any challenge that you have, you take it as an opportunity. And up to where we are, just to give us small information about the school, since we are having an intake in May, we have 4 courses. The first course, we talk about Diploma in Fashion and Design. And in Diploma in Fashion and Design, it takes more than 1 year. That is 3 semesters for that. Then we have what you call dressmaking. For dressmaking, it takes only 6 months for you to learn about dressmaking. There is what we call tailoring. That is when you specialize in making anything, as far as that is concerned. That takes only 12 months. And then also we have what we call freehand stitching. We talk about freehand. You just come and learn about the basics of what? Of tailoring. That only takes 3 months. So I find that we've tried to customize the whole thing to suit anybody that has interest
in learning something
about fashion. And also our fee is very affordable. And the good thing that we're offering is that you have an advantage to learn from what? From the real job. So I find that our students will always attend classes, and then whenever they are not in classes, they'll always be in the workshop to learn what is happening what is happening kwa ground. So it's very important for you to join us, because by joining us you stand an opportunity also to work with us, and also you look forward to own your own business and run with it. And we are living in times that skill is very important. What is it that you can do with your own hands? What is it that you can handle with your own hands? Because it is something that is very lucrative, and over time it's taking shape to the new level. And it's something that I can say that it's something to watch, and especially the Dsquare School of Fashion and Design. It's a school to watch in the near future. And then lastly, as you had mentioned, we have a branch in Nairobi that we started December last year. We are located at Arambe Lane, just adjacent to Arambe Annex.
Somebody would know why you're really going for that for that street, but then a story for another day.
Yeah. We are located there, just behind Embassy House CPF building, ground floor. That is where we are, and we are also looking forward for more growth, but gradual growth is what we're looking forward to. So always find time to join us. If you have interest in learning, please don't hesitate. Always visit us, talk to us. We are very friendly. And then also, if you have a function, a koito, or any serious meeting, always be ready to come to us and work with us. And we also want to challenge that we customize anything. For as far as design is concerned, we customize. In fact, I think I show you the other day, we custom make even up to, we make our own jeans, we make our own khakis.
In fact, I love the khakis.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah, if you really want a custom-made khaki,
Yeah.
just squeeze khakis zimekuwa mingi. Let me just take this opportunity to also talk to the viewer. Khakis zimekuwa nyingi. There's one you buy and it's expanding, it's doing all that. If you need a custom-made khaki, walk into Dsquare fashion house. And of course, because of time, I can see already my directors are glancing at me and asking me, bro, you'd want to have this more and more. You also need to really walk into the school. Somebody told me that, of course, as much as the world is getting mad, we don't expect fashion to run out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, people could be dressing, quote unquote, half naked, but then that is still fashion. So there will always be fabric involved. So if you're thinking of getting into the fashion industry, then you also need to do that. And Dan, as a matter of, as we start to now wrap up, let's talk about, of course, you've already mentioned it, that there's somebody trying to get into fashion and they may come to you. There are those who may not come to you, but are thinking of starting a business today. I know that is exactly what we've been talking throughout the show, but then let's talk to this person who just walked in right now and is about to start a business.
I think earlier, if I can talk about the whole thing, I think it's going to take the whole day, and I think I've poked into a number.
You've actually given so many points.
Yeah. So, but what's very important is don't start a business because you want to be like Dan. Don't start a business because you want to be like Dawi. You just want to be like Kalia. Start a business because you are motivated by what you want to do, because you've seen a niche that you want to go to. You've seen a niche that you want to invest into. Because whenever you want to, the moment you want to start a business and be like Dan, then what happens to you? Because if you want to be like me, then what happens to you?
Where do you go?
You lose you to become like me. Whenever I'll not be there, then it means that you'll not be there. So it's something that just to in a very precise and a clear path, I can say that just be you. Start a business because you want to get into that business, because you have an inspiration to do what you want to do. Never look, as much as we drive inspiration from people, don't be like people. Be you. So whatever you want to do, just make sure you do clear research of what you want to venture into. Because the moment you do a lot of studies, you do a lot of research, you visit even people who are doing what you are doing. Because up to now, I think, Kali, I'm mentoring a lot of people in terms of business. And as young people, we are always, the moment you keep on talking to them, the moment you keep on opening up to what it entails to about running a business, then you get at some point somebody says, hey, I think I was ready, but I thought I was ready, but currently I think I'm not ready. So I find that there is a lot to it. Just take your time, research, work on it, ensure that by the time you're making that decision, by the time you're opening the shop, by the time you're starting whatever you want to start, you have all the relevant information that pertains to what you want to do. So it's not a walk in the park, and be sure that at the end of the day, you have to go an extra mile. At the end of the day, you have to give it your best. You cannot achieve comfortability if you are not ready to go an extra mile. So it's something that always learn, keep on learning, visit people, keep on experiencing, try to learn from people. But as you learn from people, tailor make your own idea to suit what you have, to suit where you want to set up, to suit who you want to work with, and to suit what you want to deal with. So it's something that takes time. It's something that work on it as you start, and as you grow up the ladder, you'll find that you also learn a lot. So it's something that take your own time, Don't rush into business because it involves money. Because the moment you lose 1,000, you'll never gain it back. So it's something that get involved, get to know what does it take to run a business. So it's something that I can just draw line to that take your time. Don't rush into business. Because when you rush to hit, you might even rush getting out of it. Yeah.
Okay. Too much motivation for a day. This is a session you'd want to really have and have it again. Another inspirational gentleman called Gerald Bitok says, "Good morning, sons. Great work. Thank you so much for taking time when you can to be with us. Thank you so much also for the good work that you do on the Gerald Bitok show. It is all about sharing information and transferring inspiration from one soul to the other." Kim Slavin says they're visiting Dsquare today. Thank you so much for that. Ronald Kipkosgei, thank you for making time to be with us. Chemtai Rono, thank you so much. Abraham Kosgei, thank you so much. CK Kim for always making time to be with us. Thank you so much. He's saying he's learned something hapo kwa finance. Thank you so much. Dennis Kiprop says very impressive. Thank you so much. Neema Kimtai, thank you so much. There is Duncan Kangogo Kiptanui says he's watching live from Anin. He says much inspiration, Kiongozi. Thank you so much for that. Of course, so much feedback and very little time to read it. But then I would say, as enticing as it is not a walk in the park. That's what I've really taken. Dan, your final words.
My final words is to challenge the young people that let's get into business. Let's roll up our sleeves. Let's get time, because somebody in Kiswahili say that ukiona vaelea jua vimefanywa nini vimeundwa. And by the time, if you aspire to live a life like somebody else, then you might not know what he's doing when you're not watching. Because Kalia, we are living in the what we call the social world. And a lot of people have been duped, or have been made to believe that life is about the social world. Life is about the social media. Sometimes it's not about, and most of the times it's not about the social media. If I can post that I am donning this kind of a suit, you need to ask yourself, what is it that I'm doing? Sometimes you find that people are inspired by what they see in the social space. People are inspired by the kind of life that people live. But just to, on my closing remark, I can tell, especially the young people, that learn to compete with yourself. Don't compete with others. Don't compare or contrast your life with somebody else, because you don't know what this guy is doing. You don't know what this lady is doing, but you want to live like whenever he or she is in Serena, tomorrow you want to go to Serena, you want to go to Bomain. But the question is, are you in a position to support the kind of life that you are in? So and I'm saying this because I've seen a lot of people who will try to live a certain life because they want to impress. And the moment you do that, you're going to stray. The moment you do that, you're going to live out of your means. The question is, are you in a position to sustain the kind of life that you're living? Sometimes just maintain and live and be you, to live to your own expectation, not to people's expectation. Because you find that sometimes you start a business, and since your friends are driving good cars, are living in posh apartments, tomorrow you use the monies for the business to maintain the kind of lives that your friends are living. So sometimes just live within your means. If you don't have anything to post, don't struggle to go to Bomain and post, because at the end of the day, you are the person who knows where the shoes pinches. So at the end of the day, don't live to impress people. Don't live to satisfy people. Live to your own means. If you are in a position to do matatu, do it proudly. If you are in a position to live in a small, even if it's a bed sitter for 3,000, just live within your means. That is the most critical thing. Because at the end of the day, the moment I live to be like Kalia, I might not sustain to be Kalia, and at the end of the day, I'll crash. And the moment I crash, then I'll just try to do anything to maintain the life. And the moment you try to do anything, then it means you are losing you. It means you're doing what you're not supposed to do. So at the end of the day, just as my closing remark, just be yourself. Just live within your means. Whatever you are in a position to do, just do it comfortably. Don't strain. Because at the end of the day, we live once, right? And then when you live once, when you try to impress or live like somebody else, then you lose yourself. So as much as we are in the social world, know that sometimes whatever I post might not be me. The car that I post, I might be posting a Ferrari, and probably I'm walking in a car showroom. So don't try committing suicide and what have you because Dan is posting a Ferrari and forgetting that. And I
walk
Dan
in a friend who just has a Ferrari.
Yeah, or I'm walking in a car showroom. So and sometimes whenever I don a good suit, don't struggle to don't like mine because I'm a walking billboard. I'm marketing my business. So sometimes live within your means. Whatever you can do, just do within your means. And lastly, with regard to fashion, sometimes the way you dress is a statement. When I walked in here, before even you said good morning, Kalia, I could tell the first communication that you are making from the way you are dressing. So always be very keen on what you are wearing, on the kind of dresses that you are doing, because sometimes it might attract success, or at the same time it might attract failure. And remember, just to finish with the last joke that I always make, because I say that when I was in campus, I used to dress in suits. So I could meet people sometimes kwa street, like they used to think that I'm walking. I mean, sikuwa nafanya kazi because I just looked sharp the way I was. And people could tell me, hey Dan, si unitafutie kazi. And I could not look down on myself sometimes because unaambia mtu, okay, just this is my mail, tuma CV kwa my mail, because I was looking for to be an employee in the near future. So you find that the way you dress always has a communication. The moment you meet with somebody, before they say hi, the first impression lasts. That is the most critical thing. Don't ignore the way you look, because before you talk, I make a judgment from the way you look. That's why we say, dress to be addressed.
Dress to be addressed. What a parting shot, what a show. The much we had to unpack has been unpacked. But then I would say not all of it has been unpacked. Of course, Dan will still be here with us. Somebody yesterday asked me why I was recycling guests. I'm not recycling guests. I think this conversation sounds like it is the newest conversation you'll always have. And that is exactly what we are looking for. Do you have anyone whom you feel should be on the show? Let me know in the comment sections. Of course, somebody said Dan should share their contacts. I'll still pin them on the comment section. But so far, they are situated at Ketia's building, 4th floor. Anytime you need to dress to be addressed, walk into Ketia's building. ZK Kori said, good job. Kelly amesema yeye amekwama tu kwa luku. Thank you so much. That's Kelly Sargent. He's one of us here. Thank you so much for making time. Tinget Maru says, keep up. Okay, that is one of those great motivators, and men of God says, keep up the good work. Be blessed. More, share your contacts, please. Of course, I'll still share those ones. I'll pin them in the comment section. Thank you so much. And Liz Roquestio, thank you so much for making time to be with us. Of course, I wouldn't want to start mentioning people because I'll not be able to mention everyone. But then all I've said is, I'll give you my takeaway from this. And the takeaway is that you just need to start, but then you don't need to start if you don't really, or if you are not in a position to start. So you really need to start, but you don't need to start. Before you start, make sure that you do a little bit background search. Make sure that whatever you start, you can sustain and you can carry it even at the darkest hours. This has been the Morning Glory Show, the Expert Tuesday edition. Tomorrow is the Healthy, Wealthy, Wise Wednesday with Topil Hospital. You need to be there. We'll be talking to we're talking about cardiovascular diseases in children. Of course, the poster will be up in a few minutes, but then with that, at the moment, I just have to say, till we meet again tomorrow, my name is Msikalia. you.